Hello everyone and welcome to the video. My name is BMilitant and today we're going to go over the best settings for BattleBit. So open up your game, go to the settings tab, and we're going to start under Keybinds because I want to get one of the most impactful changes out to you guys right away. You're going to scroll down until you find loadout, and below that you find first aid. What this button does is it bandages you or it bandages a teammate, and you want to change the second keybind to F, because this is the same keybind to drag your teammate. So this way when you're playing the medic class, you can drag a teammate and heal them at the same time, getting them back into the fight twice as fast. Alright, with that out of the way, there's not a lot of other changes I made here under keybinds, but it's up to you as personal preference for most of this stuff. But what I did do is I put my secondary gadget and my throwable, my grenade, on mouse buttons, so that way I can help speed up the flow of combat. But you're going to want to go down here and check out all these settings, especially stuff like your chat settings and your ping, all that stuff. Now let's move on to the graphics tab. Alright guys, now let's go change our graphics settings. So let's go hit back, go to the video settings tab, and what you want to do is make sure that your resolution to your monitor is correct. You want to use exclusive full screen. Some people might want to use the full screen window. That's up to you. Your screen scale, you always want to keep at 100. You want to turn VSync off. Your max FPS is up to you, but I only put it on about 300 because you don't want your graphics card to be churning away too much. It might be upsetting your graphics card there. So 300 FPS is fine for me for this game, and I think most people, this is going to be fine. You might even want to lower this down to whatever your screen resolution is, but I prefer to keep it as much as I can, and this game is pretty easy to run, so I keep it at 300. Brightness, I moved up to 125, which is good for me. Field of view, I turned this from 90 to 100. I've realized that when I normally play games with very high field of view, but the thing is, in this game, it just makes people so small, so I turned it down to 100. I feel like that's a good sweet spot for me, at least. Your vehicle FOV, I have that all the way max so I can see more stuff. Screen shake, you want to turn this down to 0 for sure. Shadows enabled, I have this turned off. You don't want shadows if you want to play competitively and you want to be able to see everyone, not people laying in grass and laying in shadows or whatever. For your eyes, it's much easier for you to scan and see things when the shadows are turned off. Now, if you're someone who doesn't really want to play super competitively, like myself, you could turn this option on just to make your game look a little better, but I prefer to have shadows off so that way it's easier when you walk into a room, you can see somebody much quicker and much easier on your eyes, just having no shadows to kind of confuse you. Anti-aliasing I have on high, but that's just a personal preference for me. If you really want to get the most frames, you could turn this to low or off. Do they have an off setting? No, they don't. So you would turn it to low. No, they do have an off setting, so turn it to no anti-aliasing. I like it to be on the highest one, SMAA high, just because I like to have it look good for when I make YouTube videos. So yeah, that's the reason why I have that, but that's personal preference, up to you. If you really want to get more out of your gameplay and you want to play more competitively, you might want to turn that down or off. Alright, to finish up here, we have destruction quality. I have this on ultra because this game is very easy to run and I just want the destruction to look good. The LOD quality all the way up, the number of lights all the way up. The rain quality I have on low. I tested this myself. I had it set to high and or ultra. I had it the highest one, and when I had it on the highest quality, the rain was kind of more fuller, I guess, to the best way I could explain it. It's more up in your face and it's easier for you to see the rain. So I've realized that when you turn it on to low, the quality of it isn't as good, but it's also more dim and you can see through the rain easier. Render distance you want all the way cranked to the max. Shader quality I have on ultra just because, again, like I said, this game is easy to run, and just make sure you turn the shadows off if you want the competitive advantage. And just because the game is so easy to run, I have some of these other things on high when normally I would have them on low or off on other games. Let's move on to the next tab. So let's back out of here. Let's go to account really fast just to get this out of the way. There's a streamer mode that you can enable. What this does is it'll let you change whether people can see your name in the game. So if you don't want to be stream sniped, or for some reason you just want to keep your anonymity to yourself here, what you can do is you can go in here and change these settings so people cannot see your name in the game. They can't follow you, they can't harass you. And yeah, let's move on to audio. All right, guys, let's go to audio. In here, there's only a few things you want to touch. All this stuff you can adjust during the game, all your volumes. But what you want to make sure is you have your microphone set to your actual microphone and don't turn it up too loud. Some people's mics are way too loud in the game. Just leave it at 100. That's fine. And you can also check these, opt into voice chat and death microphone. What death microphone is when you kill an enemy, you can hear them talk for a period of time. I leave this on because it makes the game really fun, and you can also get some insider information if you hear them say, hey, come get me, I'm downstairs, you know, whatever. So you can get some information that way, and I also think it's very fun, so I just keep that on. So let's move to the next tab. All right, guys, let's go to controls. Now under here, most of the stuff is personal preference. Do you want to have toggle lean, directional climbing? I think you should keep on, dragging players, whatever. That's personal preference. But let's move down here to vertical sensitivity. This is one thing that I normally change in all the games that I play, and the reasoning why is because if you are aiming down your sight, right, and you're shooting a gun, most of it's going to be recoil vertically. So if you have your sensitivity higher than your horizontal sensitivity, it's going to be easier for you to pull down and make your spray more accurate and more towards the center if your vertical sensitivity is up and down higher. So that way when you're shooting, you can pull down less on your mouse. It's going to take less of a movement for you to be pulling down to get your vertical sensitivity lined up to where you want it to be. So that's pretty much what I use that. You can check out videos online. There's more people that explain it a little better than me, but let's move to the next tab. All right, guys, we're almost done. We have one last tab. It's gameplay. I have show borders turned off. This is because I've noticed that it gets in your face when you are crossing over a border from the map. It kind of makes it a little kind of blurry. So I turned this off. I think you should turn that off as well. All this other stuff is kind of personal preference. You definitely want hit markers enabled. And there's all these settings for headshots, armor hits, all this stuff. This is all personal preference, except for when we come down here. Let's see what else we got. Show FPS, you could turn that on if you're really worried about your FPS. Show network stats as well. Play around with these if you're really interested in the game. The ping size you can change. Flags, border opacity, I already have that turned off, so I don't need to worry about that. Crosshair size I have to 100. Crosshair opacity, you want this to be 100, and I use a green color because it's the most visible, easy color for the human eye to see. And I don't want my crosshair to be getting stuck on some different color and me not knowing what it is. That's also why you want your opacity for your crosshair to be 100, so that way it doesn't blend in with the background, because you want to know where your crosshair is. Show keybinds, all this stuff. Chat enabled, all chat size. I'm actually going to turn that down now that I see that. And let's keep going. The map, toggle map, whether you want the map to just, you have to press and hold the button, or it just comes up as soon as you hit the button. And that's pretty much it. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. If there's anything that I missed and you have any tips or tricks for anyone, please comment them down below and I will pin your comment for other people to see. And as always, if you guys actually learned something from this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing if you're new. There's going to be a lot more BattleBit coming your way soon. Peace.